Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button and join our community. Drop a comment to let us know where you're watching from in your city. After the video, share what you would do in this situation. Be honest, we read every comment. Let's get started. The soft clatter of cutlery and murmurs of refined chuckles echoed around the grand mahogany dining table as my father rose, glass in hand, his face beaming with smug satisfaction. Tonight, he declared, his voice resonating with pride. We toast to our true daughter, the one who's made it big. The room burst into applause. My mother, ever the performer, dabbed at her eyes with a linen napkin, feigning tears. My sister, Emily, offered a shy smile, soaking up their adoration. I sat at the table's far end, silent, his words slicing deeper than the gleaming silverware. Dad. Emily chuckled lightly. You don't need to say that. He grinned. Oh, but I do. The world deserves to know the gap between drive and, well, squandered potential. His gaze cut to me, sharp as a blade. All eyes followed. I felt their weight, the silent verdict. Failure, disappointment, the one who married beneath her station. Beside me, Ryan, my husband, remained steady, his hand resting gently on my knee under the table. His tailored suit didn't flaunt riches, but his quiet confidence held an authority the room hadn't yet noticed. Emily leaned in. What is it you do again? Freelancing. A few muffled snickers followed. I forced a smile. Something along those lines. She nodded, smug. Well, not everyone can be vice president at Parker and Holt, right? My father laughed, clinking her glass. Precisely. You've done this family proud, Emily. You've earned your place. My mother glanced at me briefly, then averted her eyes. That look, pity laced with shame, stung worse than words. Ryan leaned closer, his voice low, composed, edged with danger. You sure you want to stay for this? I met his gaze, a faint smile tugging at my lips. Oh, I want to see how far they'll push it. The waiter arrived with champagne. My father raised his glass again. To Emily, he proclaimed, and the company that shaped her. Cheers filled the air, but Ryan and I stayed silent. The laughter swirled, hollow and meaningless. Bitterness churned in my chest, memories flooding back. Years of being overshadowed, dismissed, erased. I was the daughter who chased her dreams, stumbled once, and was never allowed to forget it. Emily, the golden child, had perfect hair, a perfect career, and our parents' unwavering pride. But perfection has an expiration date. Ryan's grip tightened on my hand beneath the table. His whisper grazed my ear. Time to tell them we own their company. I froze for a moment, the room blurring. Silverware clinked as my father laughed at Emily's quip about corporate triumphs. I turned to him, my voice calm, almost honeyed. Dad, I said. He paused mid-sip. Funny thing about Parker and Holt. It changed hands last week. The laughter stopped cold. His brow furrowed. What are you saying? Ryan leaned forward, elbows on the table. She's saying we bought it. Every share, every asset. The air grew thick. Emily blinked, shock morphing into disbelief. You're lying. Ryan's lips curved slightly. You'll see Monday at the board meeting. We'll be there. My father's glass hit the table with a heavy thud. You what? I leaned back, pulled steady. You said you were proud of your real daughter. Be careful who you call real, Dad. Turns out, the one you ignored now signs your paycheck. The silence wasn't just tense, it was poetic. Ryan reached for his champagne, his tone light. To family, no one raised their glasses, but for the first time, I didn't need them to. The next morning, the weight of that silence lingered like fog. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Missed calls from my father, unread texts from Emily. Ryan glanced over his coffee, his expression unreadable. They'll come crawling, he said softly. People like them can't stay quiet when their pride's at stake. Right on cue. The gate camera chimed. My father's black SUV pulled up, followed by Emily's sleek white coupe. I could already sense the storm about to barge through our door. Ryan adjusted his tie, calm and deliberate, as if preparing for a routine meeting. The doorbell rang sharply. I opened it to find my father, face flushed, clutching a stack of documents. You think this is a game, he snapped. You humiliated me in front of everyone, spreading lies. Lies, I said, stepping aside. Come in. Let's talk calmly. Emily swept past, her perfume sharp and costly. Dad, don't bother. There's no way they bought Parker and Holt. The board would have told me. Ryan leaned against the counter, unfazed. They did. Check your email. She scoffed but grabbed her phone. As her eyes scanned the screen, her face paled. The subject line read, Ownership Transfer Notice, Parker and Holt Enterprises. Her voice faltered. This can't be real. It's very real, Ryan said smoothly. The former chairman was retiring. We made an offer he couldn't refuse. You'd be surprised what doors open when you treat people with respect. My father turned to me, voice trembling with rage. You schemed behind my back. I held his gaze. You made sure I had nothing left to lose. Remember? You laughed when my design startup collapsed. Said I'd never get business. So I learned, quietly, effectively. He slammed the papers on the counter. You think this makes you better than us? No, I said evenly. It makes me free. Emily spun toward me, tears welling. You couldn't handle me finally making them proud, so you had to destroy everything. Destroy. I cut in. You and Dad spent years treating me like a joke. You built a divide between us the moment success came your way. You didn't want a sister, you wanted an audience. Ryan stepped forward, his voice calm but sharp. For what it's worth, Emily, we didn't buy the company to ruin you. We bought it to fix what your father nearly broke with his arrogance and favoritism. My father's jaw clenched. You don't speak to me that way. Ryan's tone stayed even. You've mistaken fear for respect your whole life. That stops now. The room fell silent. I looked at my father, the man who once said dreams don't pay, that love was weakness, that my value depended on my utility to him. For the first time, I saw not strength, but panic. Dad, I said softly, I'm not here for vengeance. I'm here to show what happens when you underestimate someone who refuses to stay small. He stared at me, eyes darting between the papers and my face, then turned and left without a word. Emily followed, whispering, You'll regret this. When the door slammed, the silence felt heavier, but cleaner. Ryan slipped an arm around my waist. You were perfect. I exhaled, watching their cars vanish down the street. It's odd, I murmured, voice wavering slightly. Peace doesn't always feel peaceful at first. He smiled. Give it time. Tomorrow's the board meeting. That's when the real storm hits. The boardroom hummed with quiet tension, its glass walls framing the city skyline. Morning light cut through steel and shadow. The Parker and Holt logo gleamed on the wall, but it was no longer my father's or Emily's. Ryan and I entered hand in hand. The board members, in sharp suits, turned with cautious interest. Some offered polite smiles, others avoided our eyes. They'd seen the notice. Ownership had shifted. At the table's end sat my father, seething, and Emily, desperate, both clinging to a fading illusion of control. Ryan spoke first. Good morning. As of last Friday, my wife and I hold the majority shares of Parker and Holt. Thank you for your time. Emily slammed her pen down. You can't just stroll in and act like you own this place. Ryan arched a brow. We don't act, Emily. We do. Soft laughter rippled through the room. A few executives hid smiles. My father stood, his voice thundering. You don't grasp what you've done. This company isn't a toy. It took me 30 years to build. I met his gaze evenly. 30 years of favoring your allies, promoting your daughter, and crushing everyone else. You built an empire on shame, Dad. I'm here to fix it. His voice dropped, venomous. You think you can run a company? You couldn't even run your life. Ryan stood beside me, his voice steady as steel. She rebuilt her life from nothing. That's more than you've ever done. Emily turned to the board, voice shaking. You all know me. I've kept this company profitable. Are you really letting an outsider take over? The CFO cleared his throat. With respect, Emily, profits have fallen for 3 quarters straight. Her face blanched. What? I leaned forward, hands on the table. I know because I've been watching from the outside. You splurged on lavish offices, bonuses for your circle, while employees went underpaid. That stops today. My father's fist tightened. So what? You'll fire us? I paused, then said calmly, No, I'm not you. The room stilled. Even Ryan looked at me, proud but surprised. I don't need to humiliate you, I continued. You'll stay on as consultants for 6 months, long enough to show the next generation how not to ruin a company. Emily's voice cracked. You're doing this to hurt me. No, I said softly. I'm doing this so you know what it's like to face someone's arrogance. My father sank into his chair, the weight of his loss hitting him. Ryan addressed the board, composed. Effective immediately, we're implementing a restructuring plan. Fair wages, employee safety, ethical leadership. My wife will lead the transition. Applause started slowly, then grew, as if the room had been waiting for this moment. Something in me settled, not victory, but peace. I'd spent years chasing their approval, but now I saw I didn't need it. I just needed to stop seeking it. As the meeting ended, I passed my father without a word. He didn't look up. Emily sat frozen, scrolling through messages from colleagues already shifting allegiance. Ryan opened the door. You okay? I gave a faint smile. Better than ever. We stepped into the sunlight, warm and earned. 2 weeks later, headlines flooded in. New leadership at Parker and Holt vows reform. Female owner restores humanity to business. Reporters called constantly. Investors returned. Employees smiled in the halls. But success breeds envy. That night, as city lights glittered beyond our penthouse, an unknown number called. I nearly ignored it until Emily's voice came through, laced with venom. Congrats, sis. Think they love you? The board, the staff, the media? You'll crash, just like before. And I'll be there to remind everyone who the real heir is. I sighed. You're wearing yourself out, Emily. Try finding peace for once. You stole my life, she spat. My role, my respect. No, I said firmly. You lost them. I just stopped pretending you deserve them. She hung up. Ryan glanced up from his laptop. Trouble. Just old ghosts clinging to relevance, I muttered, setting my phone down. But Emily wasn't finished. The next morning, my assistant rushed in, pale, handing me a tablet. A video played, a fabricated news clip accusing me of fraud, claiming the buyout was illegal. It spread like wildfire across social platforms. Ryan walked in, jaw tight. She did this. My pulse stayed steady, not from fear, but resolve. Then we'll handle it right. By noon, I called a press conference. Cameras flashed as I stepped forward, voice calm. Lies spread fast when truth threatens fragile egos. But facts speak louder. I presented every transaction, every legal document, every signature. The audience watched as truth unfolded, timestamps, agreements, even a clip of the former chairman saying, her integrity sold me. Reporters buzzed. Cameras snapped like a storm. In the back, I spotted Emily, sunglasses on, jaw trembling. I didn't waver. Family can be messy, I said, letting the words linger. But it teaches us the price of pride. This company isn't about revenge. It's about building something honest. The room erupted in applause. Emily slipped out before the cameras caught her. Outside, the air felt lighter. Ryan met me on the steps, his smile quiet but warm. You didn't just win. You transformed. I gazed at the skyline, the city that once mocked my failures. Funny, I whispered. I thought success meant outdoing them. Now I see it means never becoming them. That evening, on our balcony, Ryan handed me a velvet box. Inside was a key, not jewelry. A new building, he said. For your own company, under your name. You've earned it. My chest tightened, not with pride, but something gentler. And Parker and Holt? He smiled. You saved it. Now let it stand. You don't need their shadow. I looked out over the city, its 1,000 glowing windows, each a hard-earned lesson. That silence can be strength, kindness sharper than vengeance, and walking away the loudest triumph. I turned to Ryan, voice steady, brimming with quiet resolve. Let's build something better, something that remembers its roots. He nodded. Together, the city lights twinkled below as the breeze shifted, soft, clean, final.